20. Most evil actors in Hollywood history. Hollywood, a land of dreams built on a foundation of secrets. Think you know your favorite stars? Think again. We're peeling back the glamorous facade to expose the shocking truths hidden beneath the surface. Prepare for a jaw-dropping journey into the dark side of fame, where scandal and betrayal reign supreme. Are you brave enough to witness the raw, unfiltered reality of Hollywood's most scandalous icons? Number 20. Charlie Chaplin. While Charlie Chaplin's on-screen persona brought laughter to millions with his iconic slapstick routines, his off-screen life was marked by relationships that often raised eyebrows due to significant age gaps. Chaplin's first marriage was to Mildred Harris, a young actress who was a mere 16 years old when they wed. Chaplin was nearing 30 at the time. This union, which began under a cloud of potential legal issues regarding her age, produced a son who sadly passed away in infancy. His second marriage to Lita Grey also began when she was underage, just 15 years old. This relationship resulted in 2 sons. However, his third marriage to Paulette Goddard proved childless, ultimately leading to its dissolution. A significant turning point occurred when 50-year-old Chaplin began a relationship with 17-year-old Una O'Neill, the daughter of renowned playwright Eugene O'Neill. They officially married when O'Neill turned 18. This pattern of Chaplin's attraction to much younger women stems from a combination of factors, including a perceived youthful vitality and the potential for having children. His marriage to O'Neill proved to be his most prolific in terms of offspring. She bore him 8 children, bringing the total number of his surviving children to 10. Despite his undeniable impact on the world of entertainment, Chaplin's personal life was woven with intricate and often tumultuous relationships. His final wife, Una, despite being nearly 4 decades younger, outlived him by only 14 years. She battled with issues of alcoholism and depression, perhaps a consequence of having been thrust into adulthood and motherhood at such a young age. Una remained Chaplin's steadfast companion until his death, a decision likely influenced by their large family. Chaplin took evident pride in showcasing his numerous children to esteemed visitors at their Swiss estate. Chaplin's recurring pattern of pursuing relationships with younger women, seemingly enjoying their prime years and then moving on when his interest waned, reveals a complex dynamic. While he clearly derived pleasure from these connections, it is difficult to gauge the full emotional toll they took on his partners. Becoming a father for the last time at the age of 73, Chaplin was arguably less able to actively participate in raising his youngest children. These relationships may have contributed to Chaplin's feeling youthful, but they also might have played a part in the premature aging of his widow, Una. Number 19. Humphrey Bogart. Humphrey Bogart, Hollywood's quintessential tough guy, etched his name into cinematic history with the timeless classic Casablanca. His portrayal of Rick Blaine, the world-weary American expatriate with a hidden heart of gold, remains an enduring masterclass in acting. But the fascinating part is how Bogart's personal life during the film's production mirrored the very cynicism and emotional detachment of the character he embodied. Behind the scenes of this romantic masterpiece, Bogart wrestled with personal demons that seemed to amplify Blaine's own disillusionment. While Ingrid Bergman, his incandescent co-star, sought to establish a rapport, Bogart remained aloof, preferring the solitary contemplation of chess to the camaraderie of the set. He was said to have given Bergman the cold shoulder off camera, a behavior potentially fueled by the challenges their significant height difference posed during filming, a detail that required creative solutions from the crew. Adding another layer of complexity to the production was Bogart's tumultuous third marriage to actress Mayo Methot. Their relationship, a whirlwind of passionate arguments fueled by Bogart's increasing reliance on alcohol, was further strained by his burgeoning romance with Lauren Bacall, a young co-star who would later become his 4th wife. These off-screen tensions, combined with Bogart's clashes with the demanding director Michael Curtiz, created a charged atmosphere on set that, in a strange way, may have contributed to the authenticity of his performance. Number 18. John Wayne. John Wayne, a celebrated figure in Hollywood's golden age, was as famous for his staunch conservative views as he was for his on-screen presence. This outspoken nature sometimes led to friction with his peers, including clashes with the legendary Clark Gable. Ironically, despite their political differences, both actors shared a passion for aviation, with Gable even holding a civilian pilot's license. One notable clash arose during the production of the 1953 Western Hondo, directed by the notoriously difficult John Ford. Any chance of a harmonious collaboration between Wayne and Gable was quickly extinguished by Ford's relentless criticism of Gable's appearance and age, which fostered a tense atmosphere and frequent arguments between the two stars. The situation deteriorated further when Ford's disrespectful behavior extended to Gable's co-star, Ava Gardner. In one instance, Ford callously tossed a lit cigarette at Gardner, further fueling Gable's anger. Gable, incensed by Ford's treatment of the cast and disregard for their feelings, repeatedly walked off the set, ultimately severing all professional ties with the director. John Wayne's daughter, Asa Wayne, shed light on the persistent animosity between Gable and Ford in her book, John Wayne, My Father. She described how the bad blood lingered for years, with John Wayne staunchly siding with Ford. Consequently, Wayne would often make disparaging remarks about Gable, despite harboring no personal animosity towards him. He might compliment Gable's handsome features on his face, but remained unwavering in his loyalty to Ford, seemingly overshadowing any genuine respect he may have felt for Gable. Though John Wayne may have admired Clark Gable's looks, he was known to belittle Gable's intelligence, once stating, "Gable's an idiot. Do you know why Gable's an actor? It's the only thing he's smart enough to do." This comment, while revealing Wayne's perspective, also raises questions about how the film industry often perceives the relationship between intellect and acting talent. Rate John Wayne's behavior towards Clark Gable from 0 to 5. Was he justified or unfair? Number 17. W.C. Fields. W.C. Fields, instantly recognizable with his trademark red nose and unmistakable drawl, was a man of stark contrasts. A notorious gambler with a legendary poker face, he also held the title of world's greatest pool player in his youth, a talent that later helped him supplement his meager vaudeville earnings. While some dismiss his curmudgeonly persona and supposed disdain for children as mere theatrics, Fields undeniably possessed a mischievous charm that cemented his place as one of the most influential and enduring comedic forces of his time. Unlike Chaplin's heartwarming pathos or Keaton's death-defying physical comedy, Fields' humor explored the shadows of human nature. He dared to voice our suppressed desires, our petty grievances, and the mischievous impulses we usually keep hidden. He found humor in our flaws and transgressions, making audiences laugh even as they squirmed at his outrageous antics and politically incorrect pronouncements. While his on-screen persona was a wellspring of laughter, behind the scenes, Fields was known for his fiery temper and exacting standards. He was notoriously protective of his comedic timing, and famously clashed with studio executives who dared to interfere with his creative process. This duality, the comedic genius intertwined with a complex and demanding personality, is an inextricable part of the W.C. Fields legacy, forever adding a layer of intrigue to the man behind the laughs. Number 16. Joan Crawford. The publication of Christina Crawford's memoir, Mommy Dearest, in 1978 sent shockwaves through Hollywood, shattering the carefully crafted image of her mother, the celebrated actress Joan Crawford, and revealing a dark, abusive reality. The book exposed the stark contrast between Christina's lived experiences and the glamorous facade her mother presented to the world. Instead of the idyllic childhood one might expect from a Hollywood star's daughter, Christina's life took a sinister turn. At 13, her idealized image of her mother was shattered by a harrowing incident. Christina vividly remembers the terrifying assault, detailing how Joan choked her, punched her in the face, and slammed her head against the floor. Even decades later, the memory remains vivid, emphasizing the life-threatening nature of the attack. Adding to the disturbing nature of the case was the chasm between Crawford's public persona and the private hell Christina endured. Joan Crawford was a revered Hollywood icon with a career spanning 5 decades. She shared the screen with legends like Clark Gable and Bette Davis and enjoyed immense popularity in the 1940s, culminating in a Best Actress Oscar for Mildred Pierce in 1945. Yet, behind the opulent lifestyle and the facade of a happy family in their luxurious Los Angeles mansion, Christina witnessed a very different reality. Interestingly, rumors of Joan's erratic behavior and fierce temper were whispered throughout Hollywood for years, often fueled by her intense rivalry with Bette Davis. Published a year after Joan Crawford's death, Mommy Dearest became Christina's platform for exposing the truth. She accused her mother of being a sadistic perfectionist, struggling with alcoholism and prone to unpredictable, violent rage. The memoir painted a chilling portrait of Joan as a woman who wielded her authority not to nurture, but to dominate her children, enforcing her will with an iron fist and inflicting harsh punishments for the slightest transgressions. Number 15. Marlon Brando. Marlon Brando's iconic status has been overshadowed by emerging details about his troubled relationships with women. Rita Moreno, who had a passionate but tumultuous 8-year affair with the actor, painted a picture of a deeply flawed man. Speaking with Jessica Chastain, Moreno recounted the devastating impact of Brando's emotional abuse, which tragically led her to attempt suicide. He and I had had a relationship for almost 8 years. Ultimately, it was exciting to be with Marlon. Oh my God, it was exciting. He was extraordinary in many, many ways, but he was a bad guy. He was a bad guy when it came to women. Moreno also shared how Brando's controlling nature extended beyond their romantic relationship, revealing that he once tried to sabotage her career by spreading rumors about her to a powerful director. These claims resonate with the disturbing allegations made by Maria Schneider, who famously starred alongside Brando in Last Tango in Paris. Schneider accused Brando and director Bernardo Bertolucci of manipulating her into performing a non-consensual sex scene, leaving her feeling deeply violated and exploited. Moreno's bravery in speaking out, even after Brando's passing, underscores the crucial need to confront abusive behavior, regardless of the perpetrator's fame or stature. Number 14. Bette Davis. In her revealing autobiographies The Lonely Life, 1962, and This and That, 1987, Bette Davis offered a raw and unfiltered glimpse into her life and career, going beyond the narrative presented in the 2017 series Feud, which primarily revolved around her infamous rivalry with Joan Crawford. Interestingly, Davis's relentless pursuit of excellence stemmed not from a desire for fame, but from a complex relationship with her father, Harlow. Instead of a patent lawyer, Harlow was a prominent divorce attorney, known for his ruthless demeanor, which undoubtedly shaped his daughter's ambition. In a poignant story from The Lonely Life, Davis recounted a humbling experience with her father under a starlit sky. Do you see all those stars up there? There are millions and millions of them. Remember that always, and you'll know how unimportant you are. This seemingly harsh lesson instilled a deep-seated drive in Davis, pushing her to prove her worth and achieve greatness in her craft. Davis's path was fraught with obstacles, particularly from studio head Jack Warner and her nemesis Joan Crawford. Davis didn't hold back in her portrayal of Crawford, painting her as a narcissistic and manipulative individual who allegedly used her romantic relationships with powerful men to advance her career. Instead of focusing on the filming conditions of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, Davis detailed how Crawford's insecurity led her to demand constant reassurance from the crew about her appearance, further fueling their already volatile dynamic. Bette Davis's impact transcended the silver screen. Her fierce independence and refusal to conform challenged Hollywood's rigid norms. Instead of discussing retirement, Davis famously declared her passion for acting. "I will not retire while I've still got my legs and my makeup box." Her audacious spirit and unwavering commitment to her craft continue to inspire generations in Hollywood and beyond. Number 13. Errol Flynn. In the midst of World War II's turmoil, October 1942 brought a shocking accusation against Hollywood heartthrob Errol Flynn. The Australian actor, famous for his adventurous roles like Robin Hood, was accused of sexually assaulting a teenage girl, shaking the foundations of the film industry. Flynn, who had captivated audiences since his 1935 breakthrough in Captain Blood, now faced 3 counts of statutory rape. The charges stemmed from alleged encounters at a Bel Air party and on his yacht, a far cry from the romantic image he portrayed on screen. This scandal tarnished the reputation of a man who was not just a movie star, but also a notorious womanizer who once bragged about bedding over 1,000 women. The case became a sensational Hollywood spectacle, drawing attention to the stark contrast between the sacrifices of soldiers on the front lines and the seemingly carefree lives of the privileged elite. At a time when wartime rationing was in effect, Flynn's lavish lifestyle and alleged actions highlighted a disturbing disconnect. Flynn's legal battle, centered around the intricacies of statutory rape laws, became a public drama, underscoring the power dynamics at play in the golden age of Hollywood. Number 12. Jerry Lewis. Jerry Lewis, the iconic comedian celebrated for his dynamic duo with Dean Martin and tireless efforts for the Muscular Dystrophy Association, lived a life marked by both remarkable success and profound personal struggles. Known as the Dark Prince of Comedy, Lewis navigated a tumultuous journey from a difficult childhood to marital infidelity, battles with drug addiction, a suicide attempt, public controversies, and debilitating health challenges. While his comedic genius influenced generations of performers, including the physical comedy of Jim Carrey, who once said, "Jerry's comedic DNA is woven through everything I do," Lewis grappled with inner demons that often overshadowed his career. His impact on comedy is undeniable, inspiring artists like French comedian Pierre Richard, who openly admired Lewis's talent and ability to connect with audiences. Even the esteemed director Martin Scorsese, who collaborated with Lewis on The King of Comedy in 1983, acknowledged him as truly one of our greats. Beneath the laughter and fame, however, lay a darker side to Lewis's life. Accusations of cruelty and abuse surfaced, particularly from his youngest son, Joseph, who claimed to have endured persistent physical and emotional torment at the hands of his father. This fractured relationship ultimately led Jerry to cut ties with Joseph. Sadly, Joseph tragically passed away from an overdose in 2009 at the age of 45. Jerry's response to his son's death was marked by silence and a noticeable absence, highlighting the deeply troubled family dynamics. In a rare moment of self-reflection, Jerry confessed to grappling with guilt over Joseph's passing, stating that he had tormented himself 1,000 times. He revealed, "I've worked under the most painful conditions any man has ever felt in his life, but when I walk out on that stage, the pain goes away." Did this story change your perception of Jerry Lewis? Comment yes or no. Number 11. Spencer Tracy. Spencer Tracy, a Hollywood legend with 2 Oscars and countless accolades, hid a troubled personal life behind his on-screen charm. While he cultivated a public image of a devoted husband and devout Catholic, Tracy was a notorious philanderer and faced allegations of predatory behavior, all carefully concealed from the adoring public. Tracy's reputation as a womanizer was an open secret in Hollywood circles. Director Joseph Mankiewicz famously quipped, "Nobody at MGM gets more sex than Spencer Tracy." His alleged romantic conquests included a string of A-list stars like Myrna Loy, with whom he shared a sizzling chemistry in numerous films, the fiery Bette Davis, and the indomitable Joan Crawford. However, more concerning than his affairs were claims of harassment. Irene Dunne, his co-star in A Guy Named Joe, characterized him as rude and brusque, and revealed an incident where Tracy's behavior crossed the line, forcing her to lodge a complaint with studio head Louis B. Mayer. It's even rumored that Tracy's relentless drinking and volatile temper led to physical altercations on set, showcasing a darker side to his personality. Tracy's actions went beyond mere infidelity. His relentless pursuit of Ingrid Bergman, a married woman with a child at the time, demonstrated a blatant disregard for boundaries and societal norms. As Mankiewicz astutely observed about Tracy's separation from his wife Louise, he didn't leave Louise. He left the scene of his guilt, highlighting Tracy's pattern of escaping responsibility for his actions. Number 10. James Dean. James Dean, the iconic actor celebrated for his roles in films like Rebel Without a Cause, frequently graces postage stamps, yet his true personality diverged sharply from the idealized image often portrayed. Donald Spoto's biography, Rebel: The Life and Legend of James Dean, doesn't shy away from portraying him as obnoxious, revealing a darker side that clashes with the posthumous admiration he garnered. Instead of solely focusing on his unprofessionalism, Spoto delves into Dean's complex relationships. For example, his alleged affair with Rogers Brackett, a much older radio producer, fueled rumors about his personal life and further complicated his public image. Dean's behavior was often erratic. He was known to carry a switchblade and once left a live bull in director Nicholas Ray's office as a prank, highlighting his tendency for impulsive and reckless actions. Even Rock Hudson, Dean's co-star in Giant, had a strained relationship with him, describing him as hard to be around, noting that he never smiled, was sulky, and had no manners. Despite these accounts, Dean's aura of rebellion and his tragic death at 24 in a car crash have cultivated a devoted following. While his life has been romanticized in various media, including the Beach Boys song "A Young Man Is Gone," not all portrayals have been flattering. In 1993, conservative columnist George Will criticized Dean, suggesting that his on-screen persona in Rebel contributed to the social unrest of the 1960s, describing him as a mumbling, arrested development adolescent to perfection, feeling mighty sorry for himself as a victim of insensitive parents. However, Dean's character is multifaceted. He was undeniably creative, intellectually curious, and ambitious, but also manipulative and self-centered. His fascination with speed and recklessness, evident both on and off the set, ultimately foreshadowed his tragic demise. Actors who worked with him have shared stories that reveal a less appealing side. Vaughn Taylor, who acted with Dean on television, remembered him as vulgar, self-congratulatory, and rude. Dean's impromptu stage movements often led to disorder, disrupting other actors and angering directors. Number 9. Orson Welles. At Ma Maison in 1983, Orson Welles showcased his notorious disregard for social graces when Richard Burton, known for his own tumultuous relationship with Elizabeth Taylor, attempted a friendly exchange. Burton offered to introduce Welles to Taylor, but the director, engrossed in his meal, dismissed the suggestion with a blunt no. Later, Welles nonchalantly revealed he'd actually told Burton to go yourself. This audacious behavior epitomized Welles. He was known for his brusque dismissals of Hollywood power players, including those who could have significantly boosted his career, a fact highlighted by his lifelong struggle to secure funding for his projects. Even with advertisers who generously compensated him for voiceovers, a gig he took on to fund his passion projects, including an unfinished adaptation of Don Quixote, Welles remained critical. He openly expressed resentment at being passed over for roles that instead went to his rival, John Houseman. Ironically, Welles, the genius behind Citizen Kane, often downplayed the film's brilliance, once dismissively calling it "dollar book Freud." His path was paved with unconventional decisions, unfinished ventures, and clashes with the industry, a pattern that Peter Bogdanovich aptly termed Wellesian. Welles's caustic wit spared no one, least of all actors. He likened Marlon Brando's powerful physique to a huge sausage, a shoe made of flesh. Bette Davis, known for her strong personality and memorable eyes, faced harsher criticism from Welles, who openly expressed disdain for both her acting and her appearance. Number 8. Lucille Ball. Lucille Ball, the undisputed queen of comedy, undeniably left a lasting mark on the entertainment industry. However, the behind-the-scenes happenings during the filming of a 1971 Here's Lucy episode, Lucy and the Mountain Climber, revealed a side of Ball that some found challenging. Instead of focusing on mountain climbing, the episode almost became notorious for an on-set clash between Lucy and her co-star Gail Gordon, stemming from Lucy's insistence on using her real-life hairdresser instead of the studio's. The episode featured a guest appearance by Tony Randall, fresh off his success in The Odd Couple. In the episode, Randall played a mountain climber whom Lucy's character aimed to surpass. Working with Ball, Randall quickly discovered that many considered her very, very tough to work with, notorious for being controlling and outspoken, a trait that even extended to her demanding detailed close-ups in her contracts, showcasing her meticulous nature. Despite this, Randall acknowledged that Ball's strong personality was part and parcel of her comedic genius. He explained that while her assertiveness could be difficult, it was also vital in producing a top-notch show. Randall said, "I didn't mind that because she knew what she was doing. If someone just says, 'Do this,' it's awful if they're wrong. If they're right, it just saves a lot of time. And she was always right." This perspective highlights the duality of Ball's influence on her work, where her demanding nature was instrumental in her becoming a comedic legend. Number 7. Greta Garbo. Greta Garbo, the enigmatic screen icon, was known for her exceptional talent. But behind the silver screen persona lurked a streak of cruelty that often manifested in her interactions with others. This was evident in her infamous encounter with Marion Davies, where Garbo's actions revealed a chilling indifference that transcended her legendary reclusiveness. During the filming of a movie, Garbo made an unexpected visit to Davies' set, observing the proceedings for around 30 minutes. When Davies attempted to reciprocate the gesture, she was met with a frosty reception. Upon Davies' arrival at Garbo's set, the acclaimed actress abruptly halted filming and demanded to know who had dared to interrupt her. Davies, attempting to clarify her presence, explained, "I know, but Miss Garbo came on my set, and I thought I'd repay the compliment." However, Garbo's response was both dismissive and heartless. "You're very funny. You make me laugh. I didn't come over to see you. I came over to see a really great actress, Zasu Pitts." The cruel remark, aimed at belittling Davies, left the actress in tears. Yet, Garbo remained unmoved, devoid of any empathy. As Davies departed, Garbo delivered a final devastating blow. "To me, you're null and void." This incident, recounted by Davies herself, unveils a facet of Garbo's character that extends beyond mere eccentricity or social awkwardness. It showcased a proclivity for intentional cruelty that left even seasoned Hollywood insiders astounded. Instead of attending the reception, Garbo chose to spend her evening playing poker with the notorious mobster Bugsy Siegel, a testament to her unconventional and sometimes questionable social circles. Garbo's behavior in this encounter depicts an individual whose celebrated status potentially concealed a darker, more malevolent personality, solidifying her place among Hollywood's most controversial figures. Number 6. Steve McQueen. During her marriage to Steve McQueen, which spanned from the 1950s to the 1970s, Niley Adams witnessed the darker aspects of the legendary actor's life firsthand. Their relationship was plagued by McQueen's persistent infidelity, rumored to include flings with co-stars like Natalie Wood, and his battles with various addictions, most notably cocaine. A particularly harrowing incident revealed the extent of McQueen's volatile nature, fueled by substance abuse. Although Adams tried to distance herself from her husband's drug use, McQueen, known for his charismatic persona, relentlessly pressured her to join him. He allegedly pleaded, "I wish you wouldn't fight me on this. I promise you a little coke will make you feel better. I don't want you feeling bad, baby. No matter what happens, you're still my baby." As the night unfolded, McQueen's cocaine-induced paranoia escalated. He baselessly accused Adams of infidelity, and when she jokingly alluded to a fictional lover who had won an Oscar, McQueen snapped. In a chilling display of rage, he brandished a gun, pressing it against her temple and threatening her life. He hissed, "You'd better tell me now or you're not going to live to see him die. And I promise you, I'll find out who this is, make no mistake about that." Number 5. Frank Sinatra. In 1938, the iconic crooner Frank Sinatra, known for his signature fedora and charismatic stage presence, found himself embroiled in a surprising legal predicament. He was arrested on charges of seduction, a serious offense in the socially conservative 1930s, for allegedly leading an upstanding, unmarried woman astray. This incident, though later dismissed, resulted in a brief stint behind bars for the young Sinatra and showcased a rebellious streak that would become a recurring theme in his life. Sinatra's encounters with the law continued later that year when, on December 22nd, he was arrested again, this time for adultery. It emerged that the woman involved was in fact married, adding another layer of complexity to the situation. The charges were eventually dropped, but Sinatra still spent 16 hours in jail before being released. Interestingly, this incident coincided with the release of his first solo album, The Voice of Frank Sinatra, which showcased his exceptional talent and marked the beginning of his rise to stardom. Meanwhile, J. Edgar Hoover, the formidable head of the FBI, known for his staunch conservatism and unwavering pursuit of suspected subversives, developed a keen interest in Sinatra. Hoover initiated a comprehensive FBI file on the singer, which eventually grew to a staggering 300 pages, meticulously documenting every aspect of Sinatra's life, from his rumored mafia connections to his alleged communist sympathies. Despite the extensive investigation, the FBI failed to uncover any substantial evidence against Sinatra. The file, kept under wraps until his death in 1998, revealed probes into his personal relationships and even his medical records. Notably, the file's origin was rather peculiar. An anonymous letter writer concerned about the shrill whistling sound, produced by the fervent cheers of Sinatra's female fans, alerted Hoover in 1943. The letter ominously suggested that such widespread adoration could be exploited to create another Hitler in America. Hoover, ever vigilant, shared this sentiment and initiated a 40-year investigation into Sinatra, whose mesmerizing voice evoked such passionate admiration. This period of Sinatra's life, marked by legal entanglements and FBI scrutiny, offers a fascinating glimpse into the complex interplay of entertainment, societal values, and political anxieties in mid-20th century America. Number 4. Kirk Douglas. Ishur Danielovich Dembski, later known as Kirk Douglas, was born in 1916 to Russian Jewish immigrants. His journey from humble beginnings to a celebrated Hollywood icon mirrored the evolution of American cinema itself. Beyond his memorable roles, Douglas's impact on the industry, especially his fight against the Hollywood blacklist, is equally significant. A key figure in the production of Spartacus, he boldly hired blacklisted screenwriter Dalton Trumbo, defying the industry's oppressive system. This act showcased Douglas's commitment to artistic freedom and helped dismantle the blacklist. However, a darker narrative emerged after his death, fueled by old accusations. Whispers of a sexual assault against a young Natalie Wood in the 1950s threatened to stain his legacy. Instead of the Chateau Marmont, some accounts place the alleged incident at a Hollywood party hosted by director Nicholas Ray, where Douglas was said to have taken advantage of the then 16-year-old aspiring actress. These unverified claims alleged a brutal encounter, with Douglas leaving Wood bruised and emotionally scarred. Although the truth remains elusive, social media has become a battleground of tributes and accusations. Douglas was branded a pedophile and rapist, facing a posthumous trial in the digital age. One film critic's assertion that he was most probably a sexual predator who went unpunished and unchallenged for half a century encapsulates the polarized debate surrounding his legacy after his passing. Number 3. Elizabeth Taylor. During the late 1950s, Hollywood was captivated by the scandalous romance between Elizabeth Taylor and crooner Eddie Fisher, and he made even more shocking by its controversial origins. Fisher, initially the best man at Taylor's wedding to the flamboyant producer Mike Todd, found himself entangled with the grieving actress after Todd's tragic death in a plane crash. Adding fuel to the fire, Fisher was married to America's sweetheart, Debbie Reynolds, setting the stage for a dramatic upheaval in both couples' lives. Taylor and Reynolds had shared a close friendship since their teenage years at MGM, where they even attended the studio's charm school together. However, Todd's sudden passing shattered their bond. Taylor, devastated by the loss, sought solace in Fisher's company, leading to an affair that sent shockwaves through Hollywood. Interestingly, while both women faced intense scrutiny, it was Fisher who bore the brunt of the public's outrage. It literally ruined his career. It just wiped him out, revealed Todd Fisher, Eddie's son, illustrating the devastating impact the scandal had on his father's professional life. Although a talented singer and actor, Fisher saw contracts terminated due to morality clauses, his reputation tarnished by the perceived betrayal. Instead of being remembered for his musical talent or his early television success, he became primarily known for his role in this Hollywood drama. In 1991, Fisher lamented, "I didn't want my romantic life to overshadow my other achievements, but it did." Taylor and Fisher's marriage ultimately lasted 5 years, but cracks began to show after just 2. Taylor's iconic role as Cleopatra, filmed alongside the magnetic Richard Burton, ignited a passionate and very public affair, culminating in her divorce from Fisher in 1964. The saga continued as Taylor and Burton tied the knot, further fueling the public's fascination with their tumultuous relationship. Debbie Reynolds, having endured her own heartbreak as a result of the affair, seemingly predicted the demise of Taylor and Fisher's union. "I warned Eddie that she'd kick him out after a year and a half, and that's exactly what happened, which gave me at least a little comfort," she once remarked, demonstrating her resilience and foresight in the face of betrayal. Number 2. Mickey Rooney. Mickey Rooney, a beloved child star of the golden age of Hollywood, received 4 Academy Award nominations. His roles, particularly those alongside Judy Garland and as the wholesome Andy Hardy, captured the post-war American longing for innocence and optimism, resonating deeply with audiences. Did you know that his portrayal of Andy Hardy was so popular that it spawned a series of hugely successful films, captivating audiences with its depiction of charming simplicity? However, behind the silver screen, Rooney's life was far more complex. Battles with gambling and substance abuse cast a shadow over his public image. Tales of his unprofessional conduct, including the use of the controversial casting couch, a practice that sought to leverage his influence for personal gain by auditioning young actresses for roles that likely didn't exist, reveal a troubling truth about the man behind the persona. This exploitation of his position and power, fueled by ambition, became a recurring theme in his personal life, highlighting a different side to him that contradicted his on-screen persona. A significant controversy involves accusations of a relationship with 14-year-old Elizabeth Taylor when Rooney was in his 20s and already married. This incident, while deeply troubling, portrays a side of Rooney rarely seen on screen. Accounts described him as blisteringly bombastic, abrasive, and nasty, revealing a sharp contrast to the public image he cultivated. Stories of his interactions with co-stars paint a far less flattering picture. Rooney's behavior extended beyond the studio gates. Post-filming of National Velvet in 1944, he reportedly disparaged Taylor, labeling her as entitled and lacking talent, a stark example of his unprofessionalism that extended beyond the set and into his interactions with people. It's fascinating to imagine the impact of such remarks on a young actress like Taylor, impacting her career perception and perhaps fueling a personal conflict. Number 1. Faye Dunaway. Recent reports from Page 6 have highlighted the troubling downfall of the 78-year-old cinematic icon, Faye Dunaway. The actress, once revered for her talent, was recently dismissed from the play Tea at 5, following accusations of physical altercations, volatile outbursts, and eccentric demands on set. These allegations sadly echo a pattern of troubling behavior that has plagued Dunaway's career for decades. One particularly disturbing incident involved actress Rutanya Alda during the filming of Mommy Dearest in 1981. Alda claimed that Dunaway, instead of delivering a staged slap, struck her forcefully across the face. Instead of doing a stage slap, she slapped me on the cheek, hard and for real. Off-screen conflicts have also been documented. Broadway wig designer Paul Huntley recounted an incident during the 1996 tour of Masterclass, where a dispute over hairpins led to Dunaway allegedly slapping his assistant's hand, leaving the assistant visibly shaken. This incident wasn't an isolated one. Years earlier, a crew member on the set of Bonnie and Clyde claimed Dunaway demanded a personal masseuse be present at all times, further showcasing her diva-like behavior. Page 6 revisited an anecdote from the book Easy Riders, Raging Bulls, which alleged that during the production of Chinatown in 1974, Dunaway insisted that Teamsters flush her toilet. The book also claimed she relieved herself in trash cans and even threw a cup of urine at director Roman Polanski when denied a bathroom break. Dunaway has vehemently denied these accusations, labeling them ridiculous. Actor James Woods shared his own negative experience with Dunaway during the filming of The Disappearance of Amy in 1976. He alleged that she hurled an object at him for improvising his lines. Woods criticized Dunaway's unprofessionalism and compared her unfavorably to the legendary Bette Davis, who reportedly considered Dunaway one of the most difficult individuals in Hollywood. Page 6 also detailed Dunaway's struggles to memorize her lines for Tea at 5, a claim supported by singer Jill Sobel's account of Dunaway's actions during The Disappearance of Amy. Sobel described Dunaway as consistently late, irritable, prone to yelling at the crew, and frequently abandoning the set, mirroring the behind-the-scenes drama of her earlier film, Valley of the Dolls. The stories we've uncovered today paint a stark picture of the hidden realities behind Hollywood's glamour. Did you know that a beloved comedic actor was once accused of domestic violence? Or that a teen idol faced multiple arrests for drug possession? We want to hear from you. Which revelation shocked you the most, and why? Join the conversation in the comments below. Hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more iconic inside content that exposes the truth behind the stars.